Hello all you lovely lads, lassies, and those of unspecified gender, it's the Irishman here, and today I'm going to be talking about what would have happened if Goku married Android 18. This is the third part to this what if, and if you have not already seen the other two parts, I would greatly recommend you go check those videos out before coming back to this one. 1 year's time has passed since the ending of the last part, and now not only has Raditz become a genuine member of society as well as a part of the Sun family, but he's also adapted to the somewhat cushy life of a regular human person. Now, he would still continue training, in fact he's gotten much stronger, but he's actually mellowed it out a bit. He's not as violent and vindictive as he was in the original. Here, he's actually a pretty nice and chill guy, getting along with the rest of the gang like Master Roshi, Krillin, Yamcha, and Tien. But the person Raditz actually gets along most with is Piccolo. The two of them both have pretty crummy and bloody pasts, but now they are actual members of society, as well as friends and, for Raditz, even family with Goku. Piccolo would say that if the Demon King had his way, then, well, he would be out slaughtering billions of people, conquering planets just like Raditz used to. Raditz would say if he hadn't come to Earth and he hadn't met Goku, well, he would probably still be out conquering planets and killing innocents. The two of them would be able to actually bond over how they have now reformed, becoming better people. And they would also become pretty good buddies, as they are relative in power and pretty good training partners for each other. Raditz and Piccolo would also take on sort of a mentor-like role with Gohan, as 18 and Goku would be spending a lot of their time training in preparation for Frieza. Not to a point where they're neglecting Gohan, it's just they don't have that much time to spend with him when focusing on making sure that the planet is safe. They would still spend a lot of time with him, but when they can't, Raditz and Piccolo would kind of fill in the blanks, spending time with him and just hanging out, as well as training him. Gohan would learn a move from each of them. First, he would learn Masenko, and then he would learn Double Sunday. And then, being a smart thinker like we know Gohan is, he would create the Double Masenko, a move all of his own from his two mentors. And Raditz and Piccolo, while training with each other, would also work on their synergy. That way, they could be better co-op fighters. They would also make some combo moves. Like, Raditz would give Piccolo some of his energy, and then Piccolo would spew out a bunch of Shining Fridays, while Raditz would smash them into the opponent and then detonate. A Shining Grenade, if you will, combination of Shining Friday and Hellzone Grenade. But eventually, a year would pass, and the two Saiyans would arrive on Earth. 18 would be the one to greet them outside of her and Goku's house, and Vegeta would ask where Kakarot or Raditz is, and why they had their woman be the one to greet him. Yeah, no, 18's not having that. She would say that if he doesn't want to be greeted by the strongest member of the group, so be it. She'll go inside and grab her husband. Then he can talk to the second strongest. Vegeta is shocked as well as laughing. If she really thinks a woman could be stronger than the legendary Super Saiyan, a mere human woman, then she's an idiot. But then again, she is blonde. Now keep in mind, Vegeta is a prick, especially in the Saiyan Saga, so he would definitely be acting like this. 18 would respond by saying that Vegeta is short, stupid, stubborn, as well as sexist. Let's find another S-word to describe this Saiyan, huh? Super certainly isn't one of them. Vegeta would get enraged before then rushing over to 18, putting his hand in front of her face. Vegeta would tell her not to say another word, or else Kakarot is going to have to clean up human chunks off of his lawn. But 18 would laugh and simply say that they can probably rule out smart if that's the decision he's going to make. Then Vegeta would launch the blast point blank right in her face, and, being completely unaffected, 18 would push a piece of hair out from in front of her eye, before then remarking that they can definitely rule out strong, too. Vegeta would take a step back, being completely aghast at how 18 was able to take such a powerful blast on the chin like that, and she wasn't even affected by it. But Nappa, on the other hand, would walk up to her, putting his hand out and greeting her as if she was the most amazing person he had ever met. She was so strong, so smart, so pretty. She made Vegeta look like he was a total scrub.
Well, if all Earthling women are like you, I know where I'm retiring to. Right, Vegeta? You know? 'Cause she's hot? Yeah. God damn it, Nappa, what have I told you? We are not going to breed with the other races. That is not the way we are continuing the Saiyan line. But Vegeta, think of the possibilities.
Although 18 is certainly flattered by what Nappa is saying, she would respond by telling him that she is already taken, showing a piece of refined lapis in a wedding ring on her hand. Vegeta, getting a bit frustrated, would tell 18 to cut the pleasantries. Just explain what plan they came up with on how to kill Frieza, and then he's all ears. And 18 would tell him that they've decided that they're going to wait another year. Everyone's going to train until Nappa and Vegeta are up to their level, and then they're going to find where Frieza is and jump him, 8-on-1. Vegeta is a bit annoyed by this, instead wanting to get strong enough on his own to beat Frieza. But at the same time, he understands right now he isn't in a place to argue. And then a few months would pass. Everyone would get properly acquainted with Vegeta and Nappa, and everything would be going pretty swimmingly. Vegeta and Nappa would actually get up to power levels around 10 million each, while the rest of the gang have improved from where they were last at. To give a brief overview of how strong everyone is here, I'll list their power levels as such, in a ranking order. 18 and Goku would be at the top of the food chain, each with a power level of around 25 million. Because of his cybernetic enhancements, Piccolo wouldn't be far behind, at a power level of around 23 million. He's not exactly up to par with Goku and 18, but he's also pretty close. Raditz would be right next to Piccolo at about 23 million as well, although maybe a little lower, maybe 22,750,000, since Piccolo would have had a head start on training as well as being a part cyborg. Now for Vegeta and Nappa, they are pretty far behind. Vegeta at about 15 million while Nappa is at about 10 million. Nappa would be farther behind than Vegeta because he is getting a bit older and entering his later years, and Vegeta would be farther behind because, well, he just can't get over that whole 1 year head start thing the rest of the group had, and so now he is still pretty weak in comparison. But he'll be able to overcome that hurdle eventually, he's sure of it. Now you might have noticed how I said a few months rather than a year. That's because they wouldn't actually get their whole month of training. See, Frieza had caught wind of all of the old Scouter communications between Vegeta, Nappa, and Raditz. He heard everything Raditz told Vegeta and Nappa about coming to Earth and the Super Saiyan, as well about Vegeta and Nappa talking about all the different things Raditz had told them about Earth, because Raditz would stay in steady communication with them using the communicator on his space pod during the 1 year journey. Raditz would have told them about how Goku might be the legendary Super Saiyan, and it might be because of how he's an Earthling. How maybe the goodness in a Saiyan's heart determines how powerful they become. It's just a theory, but it's entirely plausible. And Gohan, even though he's just a kid, is incredibly powerful. Maybe he's the Super Saiyan. Then there's 18, who, I don't even know, she's just so strong, but she's still a human. And then there's Piccolo, who's a Namekian, and apparently, not only is there this incredibly powerful Namekian, but he is linked to the life of someone else. A Namekian who is able to create these magical wish orbs, and they can grant you any wish imaginable. And all of this together would be good enough reason for Frieza to want to come to Earth. First, Frieza would send out the Ginyu Force to actually scout around the planet and kill off all the Saiyans. Frieza wouldn't have yet arrived on the planet, but he wants to see how the Ginyus will fare, that way he can determine how much effort he'll really have to put into all this. Bulma would have created scouters that would be able to actually properly read everybody's power levels, and that's why they know that Nappa and Vegeta have power levels like 10 and 15 million each respectively. Although, Once they actually go out to fight the Ginyu Force, it would just be Vegeta and Nappa, suspecting that they should be enough. Now, once they actually get to the battlefield and read the Ginyu's power levels, they are beyond shocked. Each of the Ginyus range from 2 million to 10 million. Ginyu would be the strongest of the group at an astonishing 9 million power level, while the others aren't too far behind, but also not at the same insane level. Birder would be at a power level of about 3.5 million, Jace at about 5 million, Birder at about 4.5 million, but because of his insane speed he's able to keep up, and Guldo is only at about a power level of 2 million. He is definitely far behind the rest of the group, but his incredible power allows him to keep up, because he's able to stop time. But the second the battle begins, Vegeta would kill him with a single ki blast, because that'd just be too troubling. Then Vegeta would take on Ginyu himself, while Nappa takes on the other 3 Ginyu Force members. And it actually goes quite well. They definitely struggle a bit, but after Ginyu's taken care of, and no, Vegeta would not allow Ginyu to even attempt to take his body, they would be able to gang up on the other 3 and the day is saved. Or at least, it would be if Frieza wasn't circling around the planet before then going down and exiting his ship, looking down on the 2 Saiyans before stepping out of his bubble car and gut-punching Vegeta, laying him down on the ground. Frieza is still in his first form, mind you, but Vegeta isn't actually completely taken out. Nappa would begin to try and fly away to get the other Z-Fighters, but Frieza would launch 2 death beams through his eyes straight through Nappa's chest, not only puncturing the right side of his chest, but also going straight through his heart. Vegeta would struggle to his feet as a blind fury takes over him. His eyes would turn yellow while he stares down Frieza. He would look at Frieza with a gaze of pure rage, before then telling him,
"You're going to regret doing that, Frieza!"
Goku and Raditz would have already learned the Ikari form during their training, but Vegeta, well, he just learned of it. It was basically using the power of Great Ape in his base form. Vegeta hadn't been able to stumble onto it until he had the proper motivation, and Nappa's death was just that for him. Vegeta would then land a hit straight on Frieza's cheek, and Frieza is sent flying hundreds of feet. He would begin to get a bit annoyed at this monkey's insolence, before then giving his usual chuckle, powering up into his final form right away, knowing that if he really is going to have to deal with the Super Saiyan, he can't play any games. That is why he did some light training over the last few months after all. He didn't want to risk anything by coming here. He wanted to get the Dragon Balls, wish for immortality, as well as snuffing out the threat of the Super Saiyan once and for all. And that's where we're going to be leaving things for now. I hope you enjoyed watching this, as I certainly enjoyed making it, and if you could please like the video, subscribe to the page, and hit the notification bell, that way you're notified whenever I release any new videos. That would be very much appreciated. Thank you all so very much for watching. This is, always has been, and always will be the Irishman. Talk to you later. Bye.